My real wonderful lawn.
Okay. All right. So everybody's got this is the bane of everybody's existence, and I'm sorry to say, I have no panacea for moles. We have a mole suppression program, and that's about all it does. It'll suppress the moles. But moles are insectivores. A lot of people think that they have the reason they have moles is they have grubs. Well, if you call me in the middle of July and you tell me I have grubs and you put your grub control down, I'm going to tell that you don't have grubs. Do you have well, I have moles. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean you have grubs. Grubs eat all kinds of insects, and their main food source is actually earthworms. So that's good. You want earthworms in your soil, and you don't want to go out there and nuke your soil simply because you have moles, because you're going to kill these guys, and they're really important to the soil. Control method should be concentrated in active tunnels if you're using baits and traps. Now, of course, the castor oil products that you can apply to the entire lawn, they'll work somewhat. They actually do, but they're just not going to keep them out for a long length of time, and you have to make many applications to make it work. So these are options. You have to usually you're going to see their active tunnels along the driveway or the sidewalk or in a straight line someplace coming from their burrow. Once one mole is eliminated, another is usually going to take its place. Moles are solitary animals. They are going to fight to the death. If one comes into another one's territory, unless they're mating, one of them's not leaving. So it's important to note that you don't have an army of moles. You probably have one mole for every 1,000 square feet out there, or something along that lines. Okay, and then they'd be considered beneficial if they didn't damage the lawn, because they actually do tunnel rather deep into the soil. So might be the type of thing that you just have to sort of live with it. There's Mr. Mole right there. There's another ugly creature called a star-nosed mole. This is the eastern mole. And they have these great big claws, feet up on the front there, and he's got 24 hours a day to dig. And usually, his metabolism is very fast, so he's looking to eat plenty of earthworms. Okay. Now there's grubs. Once again, you have to check for grubs. If you have grubs, you need to treat. But just because you have moles doesn't mean you have grubs. Okay. Earthworms are the major food source for the mole, and that's what his tunnels are going to look like. I've got them in my backyard, and we're spraying mole repellent on my backyard. So, it's just the type of thing, or sometimes now right now you might be seeing them worse because the grass isn't growing, but once the grass starts to thicken up, you'll probably see it mask a lot of this. There's the spike trap. This has been around for probably 100 years. It's got a spring-loaded trap, and there's spikes on the bottom. Once again, this needs to be placed in an active tunnel, and once you get rid of George, Charlie's going to come in and take his spot. So you have to continue to be persistent. The key to mole control is probably persistence and reducing the population that's in your general area. Here's another newer type of trap, and I think it probably breaks the neck of the mole as he runs through the tunnel. So this is kind of how the his site works. He's going to use these tunnels regularly, but then when he gets out into the feeding area, he's going to abandon these tunnels rather quickly once he uses up all the food source. Okay, so once again, you got to identify where these active main tunnels are.
My real wonderful lawn.